In this video, I'm going to show you 3 extremely small things that you can do before you pick up the phone to make cold calls that can completely transform your sales efforts. And the first is just to simply take a few seconds and stop to think about how your product helps. Now, this can be really helpful because our natural instinct is to have product details and features of the product in the front of our mind when we're about to cold call a prospect. For example, let's say that you sell a pillow, and it's a really nice pillow. Because of its design, it's extremely comfortable, and it's made out of some special material that is very soft and very good to sleep on. And it might even be in a unique shape to where it really fits well with the way you sleep. Now, these are details of the product. And this is the type of stuff that you usually get trained on and that you usually think about when you're about to talk to a prospect. And you almost need to force yourself to stop and take a minute and think about, okay, my product is great, but how does my product help my prospect in terms of benefits or the value that it has to offer? And so if we look at these features in the product and say, well, how does that help? Well, because our pillow is so great, it helps the people that use our pillow to sleep better at night. And instead of tossing and turning and it taking a long time to fall asleep, if they use our pillow, they'll go to sleep faster. And because they're sleeping better and getting 8 hours of more quality sleep, if you use our pillow, you'll have more energy and focus during the day. And because of the special design and special shape, we can actually decrease neck and spine issues and pain that you may have by simply sleeping with our pillow. Now, simply just taking a few seconds to focus on these improvements can completely transform your mindset when you're cold calling. Because when you have your product details at the front of your mind, you are in more product selling mode where you're trying to talk prospects into wanting what you sell. And when you're talking prospects into wanting something, you are operating more as a taker. You're cold calling to take their time so that you can talk about your product, and ultimately you want to take their money when you talk them into wanting your product. And if you're a taker and you're trying to take their time, when you're cold calling them, you might feel like you're bothering them. And if you're bothering them, you might communicate in a more apologetic way by apologizing for interrupting what they're doing and apologizing them for bothering them. And that can make you feel less confident about calling up a prospect. And that can lead to cold call reluctance and cold call anxiety. But if you replace those product details at the front of your mind with how your product helps by simply taking 10 to 20 seconds to think about your improvements, you become more value aware, which is actually unique. Most product selling salespeople are not truly value aware and either completely forget or forget to talk about the way their product helps. And when you're more aware that your product helps the people that need your product, you can start to see yourself more as a giver than a taker. And that you're cold calling your prospects not to try to talk them into something, but to see if they are in the group of prospects that need the help you have to offer. And when you realize that, you will realize that you have no reason to apologize for calling them. If you found a wallet on the ground and you were going to ask someone if it was their wallet, would you apologize for interrupting what that person was doing to see if they were the owner of the wallet? You probably would not, because you know that the wallet that you found is of tremendous value to the person it belongs to. And your product is the same thing because it offers tremendous value to the people that need your product. And when you are aware that there's people that need your product, you will be more confident about your reason for cold calling a prospect. Now, if you want to implement this, the first thing you have to do is have more clarity around how your product helps and possibly create a list of improvements or benefits that your product delivers. And we provide a process that you can go through to create an optimum set of value points for the product or service that you sell. And I'm not going to go through that here because we've done that in another video. I'll include a link in the description to a video where we go through these steps to help you to brainstorm the key details about your product. And in that video, I went through this process for my own product or solution. And the third step in that process will help you to create your list of benefits. And the second thing that you can do is to stop and simply think about the prospect that needs your help. And again, this can just be 10, 20 seconds of reflection and thinking about what the prospects look like that need to buy your product and service. And this is so helpful and important because the majority of prospects that you reach out to don't need what you sell. Either they completely do not fit with the product or service that you sell, or it's very likely they've already purchased something similar and there is absolutely no reason to talk to you at all. Now, when you're prospecting and cold calling and emailing, you're going to cross paths with more of these prospects than the prospects that do need what you sell. And this can mess with your mind a little bit because you can start to lose confidence in the product or service that you sell or the company you work for because of all the different objections and rejection and resistance that you face from the prospects that don't need what you sell. But by stopping to think about what the prospect looks like that does need what you sell, it can help you to remember that there are prospects out there that need what you sell. And it does make sense for you to cold call the prospects that are on the list in front of you because you're trying to see which slice of this pie they are in. Are they in the group of prospects that don't need what you sell? Or is there potentially a fit and reason to talk more? And is the person you're about to call needing the help that you have to offer? So, for example, going back to trying to sell a pillow, what does the person look like that needs the pillow that we sell? Well, one thing that can help us to get a picture of them is to try to think about what challenges the person has that needs our help. So the person that needs our help is probably not sleeping well at night. They're waking up, they're tossing and turning. It might take them a long time to fall asleep. Maybe it takes them an hour to fall asleep. And because they're not sleeping well, they feel tired during the day. They might have to take naps. Maybe they don't feel sharp when they're working and they don't have that focus and concentration that they need. It could even be the case that the people that need your pillow, maybe they have neck and spine issues or pain around their neck, and maybe they have to go get massages a couple times a month simply because of the pillow they're using. And all of this could be solved by you selling your pillow. Now, while these are all definitely great things to talk about when we're actually on a call with a prospect, these are good things to just stop and think about before picking up the phone. Because our pillow can solve all of these problems. And people have these problems. Not everybody, but there are people out there that have these problems. And we need to find these people. These people need our help. And when we stop and think about that before we're picking up the phone, not only can that make us more prepared for what to talk about, but it improves our mindset by taking us from a place where we're losing confidence in what we sell and makes us feel confident and that we have a good reason for reaching out to the prospects that we're about to call. Now, in order for you to do this, you have to have a good picture of the prospect that needs your help. And what you can use for that is a short list of the problems that you can help to solve with your product or service. And here's a trick. One way to create an optimum set of pain points that you can solve, which would then be a picture of the prospect that needs your help, is you can bring back the benefits that you came up with on the last step, because for each benefit, there's an opposite pain point. If you look at these two lists, each of these pain points is an opposite of that improvement. When you create an improvement with your product or service, that usually resolves, minimizes, or avoids a certain type of problem. So you can look at each improvement and say, what is the opposite of that? What problem does that make go away? Or what problem starts to happen if someone doesn't have that improvement? And that process there of using your benefits to create pain points is actually part of this sales message brainstorming process. But if you go through this process, step 4 is to create an optimum set of pain points for the product or service that you sell. And the last thing that you might want to do here right before you pick up that phone and make cold calls is to practice your pitch. This is helpful not just for the newbies that are either new to sales or new to selling a particular product or service, but this is good for every salesperson. Maybe it's been a while since you've been on a live cold call with a prospect. And with that, it can be easy to forget the key questions to ask or the key details to mention about your product or how to respond to common objections. So take a few minutes and either practice with a colleague, a manager, look in a mirror, and just talk through your sales pitch out loud and let the words roll off your tongue. And that can drastically improve your sales results. Now, some good news and bad news here. The bad news is that it's extremely difficult to find someone to role play with because your teammates are busy And practicing by yourself is not as productive as you would hope it would be. But the good news is that we've created a tool to completely eliminate all of those challenges, and that's called Sales Simulator, which is a role-play tool that you can practice by yourself and role-play with an AI version of a prospect. So you can practice with calling a prospect, talking to a gatekeeper, or responding to objections. And just to show you this real quick.
Hello, this is Mary.
Hey, Mary, how are you?
Doing okay, how are you?
And so I'm going to close that. I'm going to show you a better place to use the Sales Simulator is that you can access it directly from a sales script. So I want to show you role-playing with the AI with my script up in front of me.
Hello, this is Mary.
Hey, Mary, it's Michael Halper calling from Sales Scripter. Have I caught you in the middle of anything?
Yes, I am available.
Great. Well, the reason for the call is that we work with sales trainers and we make it easier to teach their reps what to say and ask. I don't know if you want to improve those areas, and that's why I was calling with a question or two.
We do not have any budget right now.
Oh, I understand. If I could ask you real quick, how difficult is it to get reps to know what to say and ask?
I have never really thought about it.
Yeah, well, a lot of sales trainers we work with, it can take a long time to get reps ramped up and producing. Are you concerned about that?
I am a little concerned about that.
Well, it might make sense to talk more because, as I mentioned, I'm with Sales Scripter, and we have a solution called the Smart Sales System. But I've called you out of the blue. I don't want to take too much of your time to discuss this. Are you available for a brief call next week to talk about how we help sales trainers to teach their reps what to say and ask?
Okay, sure.
Whether you use a tool like Sales Simulator or you work with a colleague or talk into a mirror, just practicing your questions and your objection responses and what you've prepared to say can completely take your game to the next level. By the way, if you want to try Sales Simulator out for yourself, we actually have a 7-day free trial. So I'll put a link to where you can sign up for that in the description below. And that is about it. If you want more information, the best place to go is salesscripter.com. Thanks for being here. Hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.